Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alpha Protocol podcast, where we talk about AI and transformation in the private market with industry leaders. I am the host, Kumar Ujjwal, founder and CEO of DwellFi. Today with us is Alain Mandy. He has spent over 25 years in the asset management and private market. Welcome, Alan. And before we dive into, I'd love to have our listener to know about your background and what you have done so far. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Kumar, and it's a pleasure for me to be on your podcast with DwellFi. My background, I'm based in London, but I've been working 25 years in asset management in the UK, in Luxembourg, in the US, but also in Asia. And I work with big asset manager like Wellington Management and PIMCO. And I was basically on the operation side, dealing with fund administrator, the product side, and basically the fund administration. I have a lot of experience dealing with fund administrator.
Great. Yeah. So it'll be a very interesting conversation where we'll dive into AI and how the whole space is basically getting disrupted with AI. I would love to know your what's your opinion and take on the AI and how the industry is shaping, and especially focus on the important piece, which is the accuracy. Because in the fund administration and asset management industry, accuracy is one of the most important thing when we are dealing with a lot of numbers and data. So what's your take on that? Like how AI is impacting that part and how the industry is taking on it?
Yeah, thank you, Kumar. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, in this industry, is no space for mistakes. I mean, we need to be 100% accurate. And the problem, and this is problem, one of the issues, actually, people still believe that people can do a better job. And
Yeah,
I mean, there is a lot of resistance to change. And also, I don't think people really understand yet what is basically AI or Gen AI or large language model. And they have that fear of the technology, basically, they will take your job, or, I mean, they're going to replace you, but they have a black box. They don't understand what the tool is doing. Look, I think this is probably the biggest hurdle right now. Is actually, in one way, you need 100% accuracy, but in other way, people don't have dedication to really understand how that works, and then they still
yeah,
believe that the human can do better than the machine.
yep. I think that's a very important point, and that's why I think having a human plus AI collaboration at this stage is kind of critical to do anything in this space because you can leverage AI to build applications and then deliver result, but you also need human to do at least two parts of that. One is auditing, and the second, working hand in hand with AI, like a forward deployed engineer to understand and build something which is more to accurate and more focused towards what the industry uh, needs. What's your thought on this?
Yeah, look, I think that I think I mean, I totally agree. Like, we need basically I mean, the AI plus the human. But I think as well, I think we need to really focus on the problem. And I think a lot of people have done some pilot or POC, try to use AI, but it kind of failed. And I think the study from MIT, mentioned
Yeah,
about, like, 85, 90% of project fail because people don't focus on the problem, what type of problem they try to fix, right? And this is the most important. You need to look about, don't really look, at implementing AI, because I think board and CEO want AI in their company. Try to look at the problem and how you can basically use AI to make it more efficient, increase the productivity, and reduce the cost. I mean, that's probably the most important, I think.
yeah, yeah. No, actually, this is actually a very important point and segue from the second topic. So what you just mentioned that most of the based on the study has failed. That's where it comes like, what do you think about the horizontal versus vertical AI approach, where there is a more like a horizontal means more generic approach towards AI, trying to build a product which solves several problems, versus vertical, which is hyper focused on one industry and trying to solve one specific industry or specific problem. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, and I'm actually happy that you mentioned, Kumar, the kind of difference between horizontal AI and vertical AI, because I actually have been spending really the last kind of 2 years at looking about LLM and working with different, LLM, like from Copilot to Perplexity and OpenAI and ChatGPT and Gemini. I mean, it's actually only when I really met DwellFi that I really realized the power of vertical AI and really focusing on one industry. Because today, in any organization, people use AI to do like a lot of tasks, like for meeting note, reading and summary and stuff like that. But this can apply to any industry. But actually, focusing on vertical AI and really focusing on one industry actually can bring a lot of value. And I believe strongly, that's why I think DwellFi is in great position that the future is actually in vertical AI because you need to specialize in one industry.
Yeah, I think that's actually a lot of people have done study on that thing, and then a lot of paper has been also published, and very famous industry leaders have talked about this. So kind of there are two approaches. Of course, horizontal is good at a lot of stuff. Like for example, when you are building a large language model, trying to do uh, a lot of different activities, it, that's bring a different value to the product. But when you are very, very focused and going into a specific vertical and specific industry, then having that industry know-how and knowledge is also very critical. Uh, and that's where you basically is building a industrial focused product which fits into that industry. And when you deploy those things, it's not about replacing people or basically it's focused on more efficiency in that product in that industry than just a generic product which is trying to solve a lot of things but then fix one or two pieces in that industry. No, go ahead, please.
Especially I was going to add that, I mean, this industry, probably more than any other industry, is actually very manual. And I mean, there is a lot of like unstructured data, and people actually, get legal document and prospectus and so on. But also, it's very manual. Look, people still do work on Excel spreadsheet, and
Yeah.
I mean, in my past job, I mean, I worked 25
Mhm.
years in asset management, and people always said, this is the Microsoft product, like email, traffic, Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint presentation, and it's all Microsoft product. And actually, I mean, you need to automate this industry in getting off email and off Excel spreadsheet and really try to create basically a process that is more scalable. And I think this industry, because of the return were good, and they tend to basically hire people, and
Yeah.
people always said, like, consultant will talk about people, process, and technology, and this industry will focus on people and process, but actually we have to move to technology, and I think that's really happening now. Look, actually, and I'm very glad that vertical AI will actually automate some of the process.
Yeah. And this is actually another good segue to our next topic, which is about ROI. So that's if you are implementing a more like a generic product, horizontal AI versus vertical AI, how you see about the ROI and the industry. I think without any doubt, it's very obvious that if you have industry vertical application, AI application, then you will have more ROI versus a generic product.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's basically all about, like, how you can be efficient and reduce the cost, right? And I think today, I think more than ever, I think this industry need to improve the ROI and the cost. And I mean, we've seen with DwellFi some process who actually can take up to 2 weeks that people can do in a couple of hours. I think this is really something that need to happen. The issue will be really how you can translate, I mean, the automation to measures, how you can measure success, right? And many times it's difficult to translate exactly how you can actually, if you automate, actually, you can reduce costs. But I think more and more you see actually board and the C-suite really focusing on that and see obviously the biggest cost of this industry is the people, right? And they have a lot of
Yeah,
people, and how we can actually reduce that task force with getting basically more automation, but also honestly getting better tasks for people. Like, I mean, kind of automate all the basic tasks and people do more higher value work. Look, I'm taking an example, for example, on the investment side. I mean, you always need a portfolio manager to make investment decision, no doubt about that. But I mean, you company have thousands of industry analysts, and I think a lot of those industry analysts could be replaced by some LLM, providing a lot of data and information to the portfolio manager. And this is everything we do in this industry can be scale and adding efficiency using
yeah.
basic AI.
You brought in a very good point. Like, analyst is one, but then think about like portfolio management and risk management. Risk management is one of the critical one. People spend a lot of time, and it's not just about the data, but it's also about the numbers from macro and micro. Of course, the LLMs could be really great at the numbers, but then you can shrink the work and then deliver much better product and outcome where a analyst or the portfolio manager can come and then review that thing and then add input and then get it better. But then it shrinks the work, right?
Yeah, another big user case for this industry is actually reconciliation. And I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
fund administrator will do reconciliation with the custodian, with the asset manager, with the broker, and all of that is still done on Excel spreadsheet majority of the time. And I mean, I guess people will spend days and days to reconcile position or cash or investment or whatever, or it could be transfer agent. And I think if you can basically use a tool like DwellFi to automate the reconciliation, people can really focus on the exception or anything which is more like higher value. Try to see the accuracy will go up
yeah,
and the cost will go down.
absolutely. Yeah, this is that's the true transformation looks like. How you can do something at scale, and doing at scale means doing with accuracy at scale. That's the real difference, and that's where you start seeing the ROI in your product. Yep, great. What we have always advised to all our clients is think what you are when you are implementing AI is you are building a Lego blocks, and then each of these Lego blocks eventually help you to build the bigger solutions and then solve bigger problems. So start with a small Lego block and keep building, and then soon you will have a big application and big impacts in your organization. So, thanks so much for your time today. It was very insightful conversation. We really enjoyed, and I hope our listeners also enjoy the conversation.